when that negativity comes up, is it a symbolic choice, or what do we do to nip it in the bud because it's contagious?
Don't lose the chance to experience your own greatness, because there is nothing in the world more blissful than experiencing your own power and greatness. The moment you have a negative feeling, you've got to acknowledge where that is coming from. But you have forgotten who you are. You are good enough. You are worthy enough. But while we're here, you're connected to your human body for a reason. You are God.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you're feeling lost, dazed, and confused, just like a kitty cat, then do we have the 2022-23 Prophecy Show for you. Today I'll be talking with psychic, medium, therapist, and author of a brilliant new book, The Secret That's Holding You Back, Vincent Genna, about a great prophecy and what Spirit says is happening today, plus a message just for you. That, plus we'll talk about Chichester Psalms, Mufasa's ghost, and what in the world a big leap psychic has to do with anything. So welcome back to the show, Vincent. Are you ready to shine?
I'm ready to rumble. Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong show. I'm sorry, but I am definitely ready to shine.
We will rumble today with love. We will rumble today with the peace of a mountain. How's that, Vincent?
I love it. I love mountains, especially if I can visualize them. I'm afraid of heights, but I love mountains.
I was afraid of heights till my first NDE. Now, not a problem. Let's get to some of the fun stuff. I have heard is that we will make it through this time, and I'm wondering what you have heard, because there is a bifurcation going on. Why have they said, if they have, that this is happening now?
Well, this is happening now because where we've taken ourselves. I mean, really, we can look at everything, and because of with what's been going on over in Russia and the Ukraine and all of that nonsense, I can really see it. It's the same thing with the human body. Is like once you're going down a slippery slope and you become unhealthy and you don't grab hold of that and you don't start taking care of yourself, one thing can happen right after another, right? And what we've seen historically in the past, Michael, yes, there's been crisis, but then there's been some time period that lapsed where we grew from that crisis, maybe a bit, maybe a lot. And we were able to rebound. Then there was another crisis, and then we hopefully grew. But now it's not, there isn't time period between the crises. They're happening one right after another. Between physical crises on the earth, storms, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, fires all over the place, and then within a person and people and insurrections and people fighting and the bigotry and the shooting and people picking up guns and shooting everybody. Now all of a sudden a pandemic and a virus that's affecting the world and everybody. Now all of a sudden this and that, and now a country leader going into another country devastating it. It's one thing after another. If we do not stop this cycle, it's not going to get positive by itself. It never does. We always have to do something. And every devastation has brought to the surface the greatness of humankind. It is brought to the surface when the buildings collapsed on us, all the countries helped. When people in a race were being abused, all the world people gathered together and marched. It's always something that's horrifying and terrifying that brings the best out of us, but we're becoming weak. Everybody is becoming weak because it's one thing after another. So we have to stop it now and stop the cycle. And of course, the only way to do that is from within and doing something positive. I was at a service not too long ago of my spiritual center, and it was a brilliant talk about people asking, what can we do? What can we do to help? What can we do to help whatever is going on? Because I feel so helpless. I can't go out there. I can't go to another country and help the people. I can't go and help the pandemic somewhere. So what can I do? And the answer was something. Do something positive. Go volunteer where you can volunteer. Go help your neighbor where you can help your neighbor. Go write something positive where you can write something positive. And all of that, as small as it seems, feeds into the greater positive pool and makes the world of difference. Because, Michael, it doesn't make a difference what we do that's positive. It's the choice of doing something positive that's powerful beyond belief. And that's why now, above all, we need to do these things. We need to do our self-work because it matters. It's a basis of our survival, not as humans, but as beings and brothers and sisters, because we want to keep that alive. Our humanity and our brother and sisterhood. That's what we want to keep alive. The soul will never die. But brotherhood in this planet can. Let's not make that happen. That's why it's so important now, Michael.
Thank you. I call it energetic symbolism, which means that if you say, I don't know that this will do a darn thing, but energetically, it is symbolic and important that I pull out the shovel and shovel the driveway where I can, or the sidewalk, or the neighbors, or whatever I can do. Do what you can with what you've got, Arthur Ashe, where you're at. And that has an energetic tipping point to it.
It absolutely does. People think that the smallest things are meaningless, like buying a cup of coffee at the guy behind you at Starbucks. Oh my God, that is awesome because you're taking this step to care. I cry over those things all the time. When I'm watching movies, especially when they're based on true stories or anything like that, this is what I cried. I was watching American Idol just before I started today's work, right in the morning, because I was catching up on it. And there was, of course, I know that so much is produced, especially if I was going after my own television show. I met all of those people. So, but there was a young gentleman, a boy, he was about 20 years old, and he had a disabled sister who adored him. She was able to enough understand him and thrilled with his voice and his singing. And everything he did, he kept dedicating to her. And he got on the show and he sang good. He sang really good, but he did it for his sister. And his sister ran out. And I was in tears. I was in tears because I said, people need to understand that this care, this compassion, not just because it was his sister, but because it was his sister who wasn't feeling great necessarily about herself, that he did one wonderful thing for that made her feel great. And that's who we are. I watched the musical Come From Away, and it's a true story about the Newfoundlanders in Canada that homed all of the airports were closed during 9/11, right? So 70 major planes with 300 to 400 people on them each were forced to land in this small little town in Newfoundland. And they housed 7,000 people, which was twice as many as the residents there. And they did it because they cared. They fed them. They nurtured them for like 5 days. They're still friends today. And that made me cry because that's who we really are. The smallest little thing you can do adds up to the largest thing because it's not the result that matters. It's not even the circumstance that you use. It's the choice. It's the feeling, the compassion, the love to do it.
So thank you so much, Vincent. So when we're faced today with, I see us as the human beingness, that's all of us as cells of this one creature, this human beingness. And I see us about to have an electron state change, and it was vibrating violently. But I see only positive possibility. We just either can have it the easy way or the hard way. But when that negativity comes up, is it a symbolic choice, or what do we do to nip it in the bud because it's contagious?
Man, is it contagious. Well, that's all in my book. Okay, so my book is all about the steps that you need to take. You need to catch that right away, right away. One of the exercises that I give, and I'll give it away, here, I call it the 3A system, the 3A system, okay? The first A is to be aware of those feelings and those thoughts. The moment you have a negative feeling, a doubt, a fear, a question of something that makes you feel bad, whatever it is, if it smells negative, you stop. You go, wait a minute. Okay, that's the whole purpose of mindfulness, is paying attention to what you're feeling and what you're thinking so that you can control it. So you stop. And you go, wait a minute, what am I feeling? What is this? I'm feeling really fearful right now because I'm feeling insecure. What am I feeling here? I'm feeling so insecure about this because I'm afraid that this good thing is not going to happen for me. Wow, you stop. So that's awareness, that's A. The second A is acknowledge. You've got to acknowledge where that is coming from. And I assure you, it is coming from the very first time you ever had a fear that you were insignificant, that you were not good enough. And when was that time period, Michael? When you were a kid, when you were told, this isn't good, I don't want any B's or C's on your report card, I only want A's. Or, wait, you call this clean? This isn't a clean room. You need to clean this room better. On and on and on and on, all the times that you were made to feel inadequate, that you weren't doing enough effort. Now, all of a sudden, you're in a circumstance as an adult, and you're feeling insecure about it's not good enough. Or like I was feeling about this book. Oh, I'm never going to get a publisher for it. I don't think I'm good enough, right? I had to stop that right away, acknowledge it was coming from little Vincent. And then the third A is the most important A. Affirm the truth. No, you are good enough. You are worthy enough. You deserve even more than you think. You received messages when you were younger that were negative. They were compounded throughout your life until this point, but they are not true because you are. And you know what? If you're not good in this area, you can get better in this area. So it is not a definite. It is not a truth. The truth is you're always enough and you can become more. So that's what I do right away. I acknowledge that first, I'm aware of the negative. I acknowledge that it's coming from my little inner self and my little inner voice there. And then I affirm the truth of that inner voice. And the funny thing is, I am talking to myself, spirit, my guides, all day long, in my head or out loud. There is rarely a time, even when I go to sleep, I'm talking to myself. We all are. But I rarely just sit there and just let it go, because you know what? If I'm not having that conversation and controlling it, the conversation's going on by itself, and then I never get to hear what's really going on. Because 95 to 98% of the human mind is in unconscious awareness. So you have no idea what's going on in there. I'd rather know what's going on in there because there's a lot of nonsense in there, right, Michael? And so I'm on top having that conversation with that little kid or the higher source in me all day long, and that's what you need. That's what takes the work. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
I like that you're sharing it, because what you're saying, and you drew me in, and I couldn't agree more, is that even as teachers, even as people, I wouldn't say we're farther down the path, so to speak, because that makes one person greater and lesser, but we hold torches, we hold light, and we say, let me help show you the way. But we still have that jibber jabber nonsense inside of us that was gifted to us by our elders, by our parents, by our teachers, by our ancestors. And we carry that chain with us. And so we need a bigger chain.
Oh, tell me about it. Yes, Michael, I love the idea that you said gifted. Sometimes I think, just like Christmas time, some of the Christmas presents I get, I wish I could exchange for another gift. This was definitely a gift that I was given that maybe a gift card would have been better, but that I could have bought what I wanted. But I get it. And that's exactly what we turn it into a gift. We turn them into gifts. And this is the truth, and I bet you can acknowledge this with me. I'm going to put you on the spot to see if this had worked for you. All the work that I've done, and I've done a lot, and because of the work that I've done, I am such in a place in my life right now that I love so much. When I look back at the work I've done, it kind of is like nothing. Everything has dissipated. All that hard time. You know, it's so funny. Women would understand this. There is a special hormone, and your own wife Jessica is going to experience this. There is a special hormone in women that after they have babies is secreted so they forget the pain they went through while having the baby. Now, men don't have that hormone. Something. I remember the pain that I and my wife went through, but they forget it purposely. Otherwise, they would never have another baby, right? We would not have 8 billion people on the face of the earth if all these women remembered their pain. They might remember the circumstance, but never feel the pain itself. That is the same thing in doing this work. There is a spiritual hormone that each of us have that when you put the work in, while you're doing it, you're racking your head. You might even tell your counselor, I've done so much work, I can't believe I still have this problem. But when you get to the other side of that, you forget it. A hormone is secreted and you go, this was incredible. You might not say I'd do it all over again, but you don't remember the work as hard as it being while you're going through it when you get to the other side.
You have found the key, the secret of self-worth and self-love and discovering the divinity within us that I'll only speak for Michael's sake. The ego inside me would like me to believe anything other than. So where did this come from, or who spoke to you?
Oh, you're making me choke up because I'm remembering. First of all, Spirit speaks to me all the time because I'm open to it now. And literally, and I'm not talking woo-woo stuff. I know people can listen to this and go, oh yeah, they're out there, they believe in this nonsense. No, I'm talking literally things, whether it be through somebody's words at the exact time that you needed them, whether it be even in a ridiculous commercial or song with a health issue. I was wondering one day, just recently, I saw on Facebook an ad to help heal some nerves and some nerve problems that I'm experiencing. And I looked and I was, oh, I wonder if I should really have that. And I always turn every question, what do you think? And God, what do you think? Is that a good thing to have? And all of a sudden, I'm sitting down and relaxing for the night. I turn on the TV. The first commercial that comes on is about that product that I was just looking at. And all the doctors and the research on it, because it was a regular commercial, and I'm going, wow, you speak real clear. You like using TV. You like using all these different messages. I'm talking like issues like that there was no doubt in my mind. I was just told to go out and get it. I got it. It's helping me like you can't believe. But I'm saying just on a daily basis, that's minor stuff, Michael. When I was 28 and not fulfilling my dream in my career because it was really going slow after I was in the movie Grease. It was going really slow. And it was because of a friend of mine. He was my enemy to start with, became friend. And it was an unselfish prayer and request to give me the ability to help him. From that point on is where I felt God enter my life the most. I mean, just with all sorts of this paranormal. But when we say paranormal, the only thing that could create paranormal stuff is spirit. And it just literally gave me or opened up within me, because we already have these gifts, awakened within me, reminded me of all of this. And I feel it. When I well up is when I feel spirit the most. I'm touching it, the energy of it, the energy of me. This is why I do this work, because intensely and passionately. I want every one of my brothers and sisters out there to feel the same thing, because if they did, even momentarily, if they felt what we get to feel sometimes, Michael, this incredible joy and spirit, they would be doing the work. They would be going after it, because there's nothing more. I constantly now want to work to get even better, to constantly grow, because it is so joyous. And it's not even work anymore once it's joy, but that the first time is really when I was 28. And then from that point on, I constantly speaking and feeling spirit speak to me. I don't have to do anything anymore.
What do you do? And I've been playing with this lately because it's been such an emotionally laden time, from getting hit by an SUV, from losing one of our twins, from a over this last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. And I have got to work. It's been a beautiful gift of bringing it back and bringing it back. And I am much more grounded and centered each and every day now. I have an expression. I merge with my angels. I merge with my angels' energy. I merge with my angels' energy. The more I merge with that energy, the more I stay in that state. What have you done to help bring you back to that state? Because I know your egoic mind, you didn't write this beautiful book if you weren't getting slapped by your ego.
Yeah. What do I do? It's so funny. And just to remind you, I mean, you just laid out some of the physical things that you went through. Well, I have herniated a disc. I've had a heart attack. So I want people to understand that we're both in this physical world, and humans here. We're not these special spirits. And even the greatest spiritual teacher went through their pains and hurts. But I guess what a lot of the spiritual teachers, and I try to use them as examples for what to do. It's when I release as much as I can the human side of me and tap into the spiritual side of me. Now, we're both connected, especially when we're incarnated here. You don't want to separate. All of this out-of-body experience, you don't want that to happen without the soul's control over it, and it should happen at night only while you're sleeping. But while we're here, you're connected to your human body for a reason. And by just quieting yourself, Eastern world philosophy calls it meditation. There's all forms of meditation. But the primary thing is quieting the left brain thinking so that the right brain intuition and your soul's mind can start opening up. I open up the channel within my heart. I start thinking of things that make me feel love, my grandchildren, my wife, my children, my life, my friends like you. I call you friend. It opens my heart. And when I open up my heart, I get to feel everybody else's heart. I get to feel everybody else's soul. It brings me back to a point of the reality I want to believe in, that we are divine beings. And that makes me feel the God source. And my human side is right there, but it re-energizes me. It reminds me. I take the time to stop. I take the time to feel not what my human brain and my left brain thinking wants to feel, but what my soul and my heart truly want to feel. I let down my defenses. I let down my angers, my resentments, my frustrations, whatever they may be. I acknowledge them. I put them aside. I speak quietly. If I have to, I listen to something spiritual. I read something that's motivational. I love watching inspirational movies. Man, they put me right, oh my gosh, instantaneously right there in that space. So I use tools to help me, whether it be a guided meditation, whether it be my own, whether it be some music. Music does it. You said Chichester Psalms. Just that Chichester Psalms was God's way of talking to me, because I wanted to know recently who God really was, what God really is. And all of a sudden, I'm 66 years old. There, I just gave it away. 66 years old and very happy with that. And when I was 17 years old, I sang in a choir that sang Leonard Bernstein's Chichester Psalms. All of a sudden, after asking God this, these songs kept popping into my head, and I couldn't remember where they were coming from or what they were. But all of a sudden, they popped in. And I went scrambling and searching to find out, where are those songs coming from? Where were those songs coming from? Right at the same time, we were getting ready to move. And my wife was packing up all our photos that were in a cabinet. Well, with the photos were a couple of albums. And one of the albums that was there was the recording from that choir that I sang in back then. And she asked me, she said, what do you want to do? There's albums here. One of the albums is this, you know, when you were in Allstate and it was, and the song that you sang was recorded on this album. And I went, oh my God. That's the songs I'm thinking of. And I went and I listened to them. And of course, they were all in Hebrew. And I don't speak Hebrew, not even Yiddish. I don't even speak Italian. And I speak horrible Spanish, even though I studied it. But I Googled it. And there in black and white was God speaking in Psalms that Leonard Bernstein used for these music, telling who it is, what it is, our feeling from connecting with it, and our feelings for connecting with each other on this planet. And I'm like, not only did God speak to me, Spirit spoke to me, but it spoke to me in a language that I love, music, and it touched me. So now I listen to those songs every time I want to hear Spirit outside of me rather than inside of me. So those are the steps that I use, Michael.
Thank you. We all are a tuning fork. You don't need to know the words to feel the frequency and to begin vibrating with it. That's why for all of us, each of us matters. We're each a light that brightens the whole world, and we are each a musical instrument playing a chord, and what octave do we choose to play it at? Before we begin to wind things down and I go get Roof for a meditation, it just keeps coming back and coming back and coming back. You have a beautiful story that you share in your book, and I'm going to want to get everybody to go out and get it. And I know it's a pre-order right now. It'll soon be released. It will be awesome for the world. But a story about the Lion King and Mufasa's ghost.
Well, that whole story is metaphysical, and everybody needs to go out and watch it. Mufasa represents spirit, God, in that movie, and Simba represents his children, us, okay? And as Simba went astray as a kid because he got caught up in the desires of the earth, but he didn't know any better, right? He lost the connection to his father because his father died. So think of that as a loss of connection, that separation. And Simba's wandering all over the place, right? He doesn't know who he is until he meets Simone and Pumbaa, and all they think about is just current pleasure. That's it. Hakuna Matata, whatever makes you feel good, you go after. That's kind of like what we do now. But the most profound scene in the entire movie is when Simba realizes after Nala, his girlfriend, has been there to remind him that he's the king and he feels bad. He's feeling this within him, that something is wrong. He's not who he's really meant to be. He doesn't know what to do because all the pain in the past hurt so much. He can't go back to it. He doesn't know how to deal with it. Right? And then Rafiki, his conscience, what represents his conscience and his supermind, comes to him and says, no, your father is within you, shows him the reflection in the pool, right? And then all of a sudden, the spirit of Mufasa appears in the clouds and says to Simba, because Simba's crying out, why have you forsaken me? Why did you forget me? Why haven't you come? You always promised you were going to be here, just like we all cry out to God, right? Why aren't you taking care of us? But Mufasa turns around and says to Simba, you have forgotten me because you have forgotten who you are. You are the true and righteous king. So it's literally God telling his children, you are God. And by remembering that, you can take your place back to where you are meant to be and balance out everything in your life. But you have forgotten who you are. And so that to me reminds me always to remember who each of us are. We are spirit. We are God. And when we remember that, we will be back where we're meant to be. And this energetic world and within us and externally will balance, and Pride Rock will be a place that we could be proud of. That's what they call it, Pride Rock. Woohoo!
Even better than me. I don't expect you to know it off the top of your head, but if you do, even better, what's the empowerment prayer?
Oh, the empowerment prayer I wrote to change the serenity prayer. The serenity prayer was written, and you got to understand, some of these things were written during the time period that it was needed, that it would serve a purpose. So God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change what I can, and wisdom to know the difference, right? Okay, so that was needed back then. They don't even know who wrote it. St. Francis of Assisi, he was one of them who was accredited, and it was another author later on. But that gave away and gives away everybody's power, except the things I cannot change. Okay, that to me lets us know that we're limited, or makes us believe we're limited. So I decided to rewrite it to the empowerment prayer. God, grant me the conviction to believe there is nothing I cannot change, the courage to change all that I desire and want, and the wisdom to know what's best left the way it is. So it's not that we can't change things. It's that there's some things we shouldn't change, we should use. You shouldn't change your past. You shouldn't try to change people. But you can influence and you can use your past in order to make your present better and your future, your dreams fulfilled. That's the empowerment prayer. We can change anything and everything.
So would you mind channeling? I'd like to see if there's a prophecy from the angels and guides for 2022, 2023, or any big leaps that we get to know about.
I absolutely would love to do that. So let me just get myself in my place. We do sometimes cry here. We cry for you there because we know how much you're hurting. We know the stress of your life, the pain of your life. They do feel that. They feel what we feel. Their compassion is great. Our guides, our angels. We're all around you. We speak from experience, too, of watching the world as it unfolded to where it is today. Your path has not always been on the right journey. And so it has led you astray. It has led you to forget who you really are. It has led you away from your higher source, from the God source, from Spirit, from Yahweh, from Elohim, whatever you wish to call that which created all of this, that is behind all of this and with all of this. You have strayed away from knowing your connection with it. Therefore, you have strayed away from knowing yourself. And from that, anything can happen, which you are seeing in the world today. Don't look and judge each issue as being a separate circumstance, a separate outcome. Every outcome, every circumstance that you see on your planet today is all connected and all related to the same issue. The lack of feeling that you are worthy, that you are lovable, that you are magnificent, that you are divine. And when you come to that point, anything can occur. Do not be surprised that one leader can turn on the world or another country. Do not be surprised that your brother and sister can turn on you. Do not be surprised at the prejudice and the racism and the hatred. Do not be surprised that any of that can happen. For when you are disconnected from who you are, you set yourself up for anything and everything, which is the way you are now, the condition of the earth right now. You are no better than anything that is going on in another part of the world. For the lashing out of your brother that is in the city right next door to you is no different than a country leader lashing out at another country. It is the same. You see things on bigger scales as being worse circumstances rather than on the little scales, rather than on the individual scales. But let me tell you right now, because of the anarchy that you've got going on the earth, it's a complete reflection of the anarchy that is going on within each and every one of you privately. You don't know what to listen to anymore. You can't trust your own intuition or your human mind. The left brain from the right brain is at constant conflict with each other because you've forgotten who you are. Yet, you have all the answers, you have all the hope, you have all the healing. You are the healing. You are the cure to the pandemic. You are the cure to every virus, to every illness, to every cancer, to every outrage. You are the cure. And sometimes you do get to see that, but it is in the hopes of listening and hearing inspirations as you are listening to now, as you are listening from this person's show, from Michael's show, from Vincent speaking, from all other talks. You are constantly getting the reinforcement of what you need to do, but it does require work, as you will hear. It requires work to reconnect. But it is the most worthwhile work you will ever do. Oh, yes, you can become a CEO of a company far quicker and easier than it is to believe in your own divinity and magnificence. Yes, it is easier to obtain money, to obtain success, earthly success, than it is to believe in yourself, because it is only yourself that you have to challenge. There aren't any others that you can manipulate or that you can convince or that you can motivate and inspire to put you in a better position or to give you money or to come and love you. It is only you that challenges you. It is only you that you have to deal with. And that is the hardest place because you are so strong. You have energy beyond your wildest imagination, and that energy can either work for you or against you. My friend here loves Star Wars because it has such great examples in it. You are both your own Luke Skywalker, Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. You are all of that within you. You are your own Cain and your own Abel. You're your own Adam and your own Eve. You are God. You are spirit. You are everything. And it takes much to believe that. It takes a lot because you were not all treated that way. You were not all raised loving yourselves, being nurtured into believing that you are divine. You do not have those background messages. You have other stories. You have other messages, ones that make you feel less than. Those are the ones you need to battle. They're all within you. And your mind has protected you from those, but they are there and they are guiding you. You need to go within. There are always ways to do that because the answer, the God source, the burning bush is all within you. It's not a place to go to. Heaven is within you. It is not a place. The other side, the other dimension, the other realm, the other world, where I am, where we all are, where you're connected, where your higher soul is not where you need to be. You're there in the earthly plane and the earthly dimension, but never detached from here. Use who you are. Use your divinity and heal yourself and heal the world because you can. This year is a very positive year for opportunity to do that. But there have been many years of opportunity that you have not taken advantage of. Now is the time. Now you need to change. There are two paths you have the opportunity to walk that are in front of you this very day. The one path will bring you to your divine nature, to who you really are, to your soul's destiny and purpose, to your magnificence, to the God that you are. You'll be able to create and heal. You'll create peace within you first, and then without and externally and in the world. You will heal the ills of the world and hatred and illness. That is the direction you have the ability to go in as of this very moment. There's enough information on how to do that. There are enough books now to take this journey. That is the opportunity in the future we see for you and hold for you. But there is the second door that you are in front of right now. And it's the door of physical demise and continued hurt and pain. You cannot make the physical world a better place until you make the internal world of each and every one of you a divine place. So yes, it can be worse. It can get worse. And you may even see some of that before you see the light at the end of the tunnel. But that door is before you now. What you choose will be the outcome and the answer to where you're going. Eventually, you'll all end up here anyway. Eventually, it will all be done. But you will have lost the greatest opportunity you can to experience who you really are. Don't lose the chance to experience your own greatness, because there is nothing in the world more blissful, more utopian, more divine than experiencing your own power and greatness. Don't wait till you get here to do it. Do it there and make the right choices. And stop thinking you can take anything from each other, because you can't. You can only cause more personal hurt by trying to take. Because in the end, the earth is only an illusion. It was all made for you to experience what is divine and spiritual and energetic in nature, not what was physical. So what you think you're controlling and taking now, you're just wasting your own energy. We have hope for you here. We're there by your side. So let's see what door you choose. It's in your hands today and now. And so be it. And so it is. Thank you for letting us speak.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. When I finish my automatic writing in the mornings, just about the last thing that I hear is, Roo is up now. Go take him out. And immediately before I put down the pen, I'm actually typing, so put down the pen metaphorically, Roo starts singing, just as your dog, right at the end.
My dog in the background down there? Yes.
Started barking to say,
it's spirit.
We're good now.
Good now. Oh, my goodness. Is Roo awake? Because I know my dog is.
On that note, Vincent, where can people go to find your new book and to find out more?
Oh, all you have to do is go to my website, because everything is there at vincentgenna.com, and go to Amazon. And if you type in The Secret That's Holding You Back, it'll pop up there in Kindle form and paperback. Yes, it is pre-ordered. It is being released June 21st. But for the more pre-orders that you make now, you're actually pushing it ahead in ranking that pushes it out into the world so that everybody can get a hold of this. And this is what matters, getting the message out there. This is part of the work in helping each other, is getting the good messages out there, like Michael's message. And I'd like to believe that I had some good messages. So yes, that's how you can get me and get my book. Go now.
Thank you. VincentGenna.com. Genna. Two last questions, then I'm grabbing Roo. First off, I just keep looking at that ring on your thumb.
Oh, this one. Yes, the blue titanium one.
Yes, and you can tell me about both, but yes, the blue titanium one.
Yes, I wanted to get this because, number one, it's blue and it's my connection with Michael. And a rings are in the whole purpose of this, my wedding band and a ring, is because it's a connection and it's basically an infinite circle. It just keeps going round and round because there's no end to it, right? So I've gotten it because there is no end to our connections. There is no beginning. There is no end anymore, because it is. Everything that is. And now you can't find a beginning and you can't find an ending to it. And so it keeps reminding me who I am. And titanium is a very strong steel now. As a matter of fact, some of us get it. My wife has a titanium knee replacement, and people have it as new bones in their bodies because it's such a strong metal. Oh, hello, Michael. Do you have a titanium in you?
Titanium femurs, titanium hips or spikes through the hips, depending on you call it, the titanium wrist. Yeah, I may have a little bit of titanium in me. There's a street value, Vincent.
There you go. It's very valuable because it is very strong, and that's the reason why I wanted. I only use things not to empower me, because I do that myself, but to remind me and to help remind me that I can empower myself. Like this ring is my college graduation ring. I just need to keep reminding myself I'm more intelligent than I think I am. That's the other reason why I wear it. No, I love it. And again, it's blue. And today I knew we would be connecting with Michael because Michael is going to help me with a meditation tonight before we end this.
Beautiful. So last question, then I'm going to grab the Roo, who rhymes with blue. What's the one most important thing, to put you on the spot, Vincent, the one most important thing people need to hear right now?
It's two-part. Part one is understand, for the most part, you don't believe what you think you believe. Part two of that is then, therefore, it is absolutely necessary for you to go in and reinforce self-belief. Because before you can believe in anything else, before even love, the power of love works, you have to believe in you and that you come from love and that all there is love and energy. Belief in yourself and self-love. That's a must before anything else can occur.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. On that note, let me go get Roo, and then we'll dive into a meditation. So bear with me, movie magic. I will be right back.
I missed Roo. I was able to connect with Roo. I had a fun time connecting with Roo, actually. I've never been in a rooster's mind before. And there's a different thinking process that occurs in the brain to let things happen. It's very intuitional, but there is a process in all living things, including plants. But I had a very good time, and I'm feeling that Roo is in a better place, and Roo is picking up the energy in the household, and Roo is helping the household. Yes. Roo helps balance things out. And Roo also will sense the baby and senses the baby now. I do feel that male pride. Yeah. The rooster didn't take care of the chicks, the hens did. But the roosters still kept away any predators. So there is definitely a protective feeling that I get from Roo now. Oh, it would be the cutest thing if you get a little pair of headphones for Roo.
I have thought about this. Actually, both headphones for him, and because he goes running with me, I'd love to find a way to get him some like bomber, like Snoopy World War One air ace goggles.
Oh my
yes.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
With the leather hat too, with his spikes going up through
absolutely.
it.
Whether he'd keep it on or not is another story, but that would be the cutest thing. Got to get at least a picture like that. Hey,
yeah, I got to have somebody sew that stuff for us. Hi.
Oh my gosh, how beautiful. Oh, I'm feeling so much better about Roo this time than I did the last time. And you will hear in the recording while you were going to get him that Roo is feeling very male now because there is profound. He heard me because there is a baby in the house, because there is a baby within Jessica. Roo is feeling that. And so the maleness is coming out of Roo. Every time I say that. Oh my gosh, that's so perfect. Thank you, Roo. I consider that a validation.
So I do have one question for you about Roo, which is he has, since we got him, his story with us. I know Roo is one of separation. He was abandoned, and we were lucky enough to blessed to come along. How do we help him with his abandonment issues? Because when we leave the room now, and there's going to be a lot of leaving the room for the baby, he falls apart.
The same way as you would do with a dog is you introduce the baby and items of the baby so Roo can smell the items, and so that Roo feels a part of the family, because he doesn't know that it's not his baby. Okay, he doesn't know that. They can't know that. That's why they also help to protect each other's chicks and babies. So not that he would be home feeding his chick, but he would be on the outside walking around the area so that mom can raise the chicks. Well, just like daddies in all species, they want to know that they're a part of the child. So as much as you can, keep bringing Rue around the baby, and you can start now. But that will help Rue not feel separate from you and not feel that you're choosing the baby over him. Okay? And so I know that that seems like a lot of thought process, but it actually is an energy intuitive process, because he's connected to your energy now and feels when it's gone. So leave pieces of you behind, which I believe you already are doing, like a shirt, an item of clothing, a
Oh,
blanket,
we can just
or
go in the
something.
other room and he can get nervous that we've
Yes.
left the room.
Exactly. So, well, because they don't have, first of all, their vision isn't great, right? And so their sensory perception then is only in their immediate area. So, like I said, is if you can, leave your shirt or something behind when you go in the other room, do that. But that's the best that you can do. He's always going to have a certain amount because there is scarring. So there's only so much that you can do, but just encourage being part of the family and keep coming back in and keep reminding him that he's not separate. He's still part of no matter where you go. That's the best that you're going to be able to do. He just doesn't want to lose you.
Thank you so, so much. Would you mind leading us in a Rue-inspired meditation?
Definitely a Rue-inspired meditation. If everybody would just take a moment and close their outer eyes and take a nice deep breath in and exhale, centering yourself just to let go. Let go of even what we've talked about today for a moment, just so that you can start to begin to recognize your own energy and who you are. It all starts with listening. We think talk initiates conversation. That does with the human body. But in order to initiate conversation with the soulful body, you listen. Listen for your soul now, going deep within, knowing that the only thing it can say is, I am the true you. I am divine. I am energy. I am light. I am magnificent. Nobody, no person, no circumstance can define who you are. Only I can. I am the greater part of you. I am connected to Source. Feel that, hear that, know that in this moment. Always recognize that we are all one, and that your actions, no matter how small you think they are, no matter how insignificant you may think you are, you're not. You're important, you're vital. You're part of the picture of a puzzle, and every single piece is important to complete the picture. You are a complete portion of this picture. And whatever you choose to make yourself as a part will affect the picture. Bring peace into your heart and love into your heart, and that will affect the picture, the whole picture. You are a greater power than you know you are. Recognize that and remember that and feel that now. Feel within you the depth, the expansiveness, the creativeness, the intuitiveness, the psychicness. You are above earth and this body. You are part of earth and this body. Feel that now. Take another deep breath in. And just feel all of that energy, all of that power that you are, let it work for you. Let it be able to bypass all your resistances, all your defense mechanisms, to get to the truth of who you are. That is what light is. Light refers to truth. And the difference between light and dark is the difference between truth and falsehood. And anything that limits you is falsehood. Anything that makes you feel bad about yourself is falsehood. It is not truth. It is not light. Energy is great. It's wonderful. It's unlimited. It's expansive. But it also has a vibration. And that vibration is a feeling that we can define in human terms, a joy, a bliss. Feel it now. Feel your energy translated into a vibration, translated into an emotion, translated into a sound, a joyous sound, sound of creatures, animals, your own voice, your inner voice. God speaking to us in all different ways. Never forget, always remind yourself, come to this place of centering. And always believe that you are greater than what you think you are. You are what you seek. You are your own dream. You are peace. You are perfect health and wellness. And we can release this into the universe knowing that it's all true and acknowledge it. And so it is. Now the deep breath. Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you, Michael. And thank you, Rue.
He's holding space now. And hungry.
I'm sure. Well, that's the thing. Whenever you become at peace, you get hungry. I'm hungry too. I don't know if you heard my tummy going there, but I'm in a good place. And food is always a wonderful reward in a good place, in a good way, right?
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So on that note, for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, get the secret that's holding you back, and begin discovering the secret inside your heart today. And above and beyond all else, shine bright. Woohoo! What a beautiful, beautiful interview with Vincent Genna. Oh my God, I can't recommend his book enough. It's brilliant. He really balances both sides, the psychology along with the spirituality, which of course is one. And of course, that brings us to the automatic writing experience. If you want one technique that will help you communicate with spirit on top of holding a rooster in your arms, get the automatic writing experience. In fact, get our video-based program with live classes. Come to automaticwriting.com. The fact that you're interested in this means you're a mystic in training. So come to our School of Mystics. That is at inspirenationuniversity.com, and let us bring out the mystic in you. Click the join button down below on that note to join our Mystic Circle, behind the scenes videos with Rue and myself. Of course, the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of upcoming shows, YouTube premieres, and live events with me every Monday night where you can ask your questions, and with Rue as well for the meditations. You can ask him your questions, and he'll do the best he can to get back to you on those as well. Here's a link to the next amazing video. Please share, thumbs up, share it with the world. Love you guys so much. Keep on shining bright. How does it get any better than this, Rue? How does it get any better than this? Love you guys. Woohoo! Good job, Rue.